Welcome back, everyone, to another episode. Today, we are speaking with Jackie Bouvier. Jackie is the founder and chief executive officer of Bouvier and Company. She serves as the president of Prospanica in Denver, Colorado, and executive director for Santa Fe Business Improvement District. She is also the power behind Voces Poderosa, which I was able and honored to be with 7 months ago, and Hispanic Heritage 365. I love that because we should be celebrating every single day of the year. Jackie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor, a privilege to be on here. I'm truly, truly blessed about it. And thank you so much. I'm excited.
And so am I. And no, thank you for being with me. And folks, we will be speaking about rising voices, Hispanic leaders shaping tomorrow. And it is just heartwarming to see how much light has been shown on Hispanic leaders here lately and all the great things that they are doing around the world. But before we get into that conversation, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm just excited, to be able to, and honored to be considered a leader, specifically here in the nation and now internationally. And it feels like a huge opportunity to be a catalyst for many, but at the same time, to follow in so many amazing Latinos' footsteps. And so, tell you about me. I'm Jackie Bouvier. I was born in Ayala Martinez, Salvadoreña. Came to the United States when I was 6 months old, and was in California for my first 10 years of life. And then the rest of my life, which is not too long because I'm super young, just kidding. I've been here in Colorado most of my life. So I feel like a Colorado native, and this is where I am. And I have just grown so much here and have had an opportunity to be a Latina leader here in the community and the state of Colorado representing and just working hard in different areas. And I don't know if you want me to tell you a little bit about my journey, but I have, as a daughter of immigrant parents, I have always learned of my culture, including our food, pupusas, and have had the opportunity to be able to be ingrained in the culture and also the idioms and all the different things that come with culture, taboos, and believe it or not, even those inferiorities in the way that you see and think about yourself as a woman, right? And so having to go through that in life, I think has been a big challenge for me, being such a strong personality and undertaking so much as a first generation to go to college. I'm the first one in my entire family to get a master's degree. And so it's been a lot of pioneering and spearheading in this country and hopefully making my parents proud for seeking the American dream. And so all of that to say that it's gotten me to a place now where I'm still scaling, still finding my next step in life, because I believe that every season is a new opportunity for growth and a new opportunity to learn and to teach others and mentor others as well. So that's pretty much my journey. I don't know if you want me to go more in depth.
No, that was wonderful, and thank you for sharing that. I love the first of, right, and my wife will tell you what she used to tell me. Why you got to be the first of everything? It's like it it is. That's what it is, and but setting the trend for future generations to follow is something that I believe most Hispanics have been encouraged to do. Go farther than I did. Go farther than I did, and we're always pushed to go farther than our parents did and our grandparents and great grand, so that's kind of like ingrained in us to take us farther, right? And that's a great charge to give to your children, for them to open doors for the future. But thank you for sharing that. Now, talking about personal journey, can you share your personal journey in becoming a leader, and what unique challenges did you face as a Hispanic individual, and how did you overcome them? I know I have mine, and most of us do.
Well, it's been a journey, as I mentioned earlier. I think being the firstborn in my family and I've been grappling with this, just so you know, in terms of my past and how I've become who I am. Because sometimes what I have done, it's not sometimes, is that what I decided to do is just leave my past behind and begin where I felt that I could be an example of success. But we are not successful unless we embrace where we came from, who we are, and what we've gone through. And I've been starting to open about my past more now, and it's been something that has been difficult because I had a very tumultuous childhood. I had a very difficult childhood. Um, as a firstborn, I'm the oldest of five. Um, I saw firsthand a lot that I shouldn't have seen or experienced as a child. And so that, instead of breaking me, I think kind of gave me an opportunity to want to change the narrative, change my life, change what I was going through. And that kind of impulsed me into becoming a leader just within my home, having the opportunity to translate all documents and everything for my parents, specifically my mother. I think I lost a lot of my childhood having to be that right hand for my parents because of the language barrier. So I was kind of just pushed into this leadership role very early in my life. And I think that that was part of the reason why I felt like I had purpose, believe it or not, even though I was going through a very difficult situation with both my parents. And during that time frame, I think I just kind of took on that role. And later, when we moved to Colorado to start new and fresh for personal reasons on my parents' side, I just felt that I was lost. And during that time frame, I found my way in leadership in the streets of Colorado. And in that, I experienced so much that my life changed completely. And then I came to a spot in my life where I was saved. God saved me, and I feel that way. And everyone has their own way of thinking and believing, and I honor and respect that. Mine specifically was my encounter with God, and so that gave me purpose. He saved my life, literally, spiritually, physically, in every way, and I found purpose to heal, purpose to change the world, believe it or not, purpose to want to help others, purpose to become a leader that can just do something for my community. In that time frame, I went to school, and I was also going through seminary, and I became a faith leader. And we had over 300 people we mentored that went through our program. It was a youth program. And during that time, I think it's when I really realized how I was called to lead, but also to mentor and to be a helping hand, be someone who catapults others to become the best version of themselves. And more importantly, to find healing. Then I found myself locked in four walls, and I felt like I was uh, not only saved and having a relationship, but kind of just living a life within four walls. So um, I had the opportunity one day. I realized I kept opening businesses, coffee shops, wine, multi-level businesses, just different things that I then started to sell. And I realized how great I was at being an entrepreneur and scaling and starting, and how I can how I was able to have that type of favor. And so I decided one day, I had a dream, and I woke up and I saw myself with a key, and I said, well, I want to use this key to open doors for everyone. So I went back to school, and this time I went to school for 6 years, got my bachelor's degree in business and marketing, and I got my MBA, my master's in business administration, with an international and a nonprofit focus. And I did that because I wanted to be well rounded. I just wanted to be able to impact the world, but understand how to do it and be equipped correctly. That took me to a different level. That took me to times where I felt what the imposter syndrome was. I felt what it was to go to a school where I was sometimes the only woman in a class, or the only minority in a class. And scared to speak out, scared to present. And I had to overcome a lot of obstacles that catapulted me to becoming a leader and given me that opportunity. And so from there, I got the opportunity to graduate and make my family proud. And my daughter, I went to school. I was a single mother at the time, and I went to school, and I would bring my daughter, sit her down, put her headphones on while I was taking an exam. And so this journey, I'm not going into a lot of detail, obviously, but it was just a journey of resilience, of you know, becoming who I was meant to be, but never for myself, always to make God proud and complete my purpose and my journey, and to make sure I was a great example for Michaela, my daughter, and a great example for my siblings and my family, so that they could see that if a single mother can work full time and put herself through a bachelor's program and a master's degree program, working full time as a single mother, and have her daughter in the best school of Colorado, and just see that anybody can do it. You don't have to be male or female. You just have to have the motivation, the purpose, the drive aligned, and understand the seasons you're in. Because even though my dreams were so aspirational and huge, I understood that was my season, that was my season of training, mentored in that season in a different way. I encountered Prospanica at the time, and I just realized how powerful having a network of other influencing powerful leaders is. That was 2011. So ever since I've been with Hispanic, I used to be the National Society of Hispanic MBAs, and that association just changed my life completely. I met the most amazing people all across the country. I was able to build relationship friends. I've stayed at their homes. They've come to Colorado. It's just been an amazing opportunity to be able to see others who have been there, done it. And so that's why I think it's so important to hear stories like this, because sometimes you don't know what to do. You don't know how to find your way. And in my case, once I was coming out of that season of training, I was looking for my next opportunity. And I know that leadership is powerful, but training and always becoming aware of your surroundings and what's going on in every way, not just in business, not just the numbers, right? Our power now, right, in the United States, and where we're going to be in the next 5 years. But understanding that we play a huge role in this country, specifically if we come together, if we unite, and if we support one another, and if we give that helping hand to somebody else, right? Something that I think is very powerful. And so just meeting all of these mentors, I would say, through Prospanica was a huge opportunity, and it made me dream. It allowed me the opportunity to see beyond what I was able to see. And so I started doing something different, right? And I came out of my MBA program, and I was already an entrepreneur, but I came out a leader, equipped, believing that I can do it. And so, as a result of that, I've worked in corporate America. I've worked in the nonprofit sector, the faith. I've even opened charter schools in the past in Colorado. So I've kind of done so many different things in so many industries and areas. And it came to the point where the the best thing for me even to do was to become that to be that uh, consultant. I came to a point in my life where I have remarried and I have three little boys, all very young. And so I want to work as much as I can because I love what I do, but I want to work around their schedule. I want to be there for everything they need me for. So that's how being so flexible came about. And believe it or not, that flexibility catapulted me to a leadership I never knew. Uh, and the type of projects that I had the opportunity to be the one who chose them, and to fly and work with people that I admire, and have the opportunity to build a business and scale it, and also work closely with the city of Denver as the executive director of the business improvement district, and have an opportunity to just do everything, be a successful career woman, a successful leader, while being a leader at home with my little ones and with my college student.
Yeah, it's amazing journey there, and some of it we share. I was the oldest of five. I
Oh,
was the first to get my degree, and things like that. Propelled into leadership just by virtue of how you're born, and in the Hispanic culture, that's typically how it goes. You're the firstborn. Congratulations, here's a job, and and we do tend to grow faster and sometimes not at the right scale and speed that we should, right? We lose a lot of our childhood. So I share some of those sentiments. Now, being Hispanic and having heritage of Hispanic origin or Latino origin, it brings a type of flavor, right? It brings a style. So how has your Hispanic heritage influenced your leadership style and approach to problem solving?
well, there was a time, when it was difficult to be Latina, as I mentioned, and it was confusing, um, because I wanted to be, regardless of what the successful person looked like, right? Whether they were any gender, race, ethnicity. I think I was just looking for success, right? And my next step and season in life, and I still am. But I think that in terms of my heritage and how it played a part, I started to notice that before now, because now I feel like we have a power, right, that we never had before, not only in numbers, but in being Hispanic and being Latinos in this nation and anywhere. Specifically, myself, as a Salvadorian, I find myself being associated with the country and the current president and all the power that comes with that and the honor at this point, and so all the changes and everything. And so gives you that sense of like, yeah, but during my journey, I think that being Hispanic was never something that deterred me or made me feel less than. It was my superpower, being Latina. And it was my superpower as a woman that I was Hispanic, I am Latina, I am Hispanic, and that I was able to be resilient and still am. And I was able to um, not be another stat as a single mom, but be una Latina that broke every record and surpassed everything that everyone thought of me that could have happened and didn't. And so I just felt that that gave me a sense of pride, but at the same time, being Latina and being a leader, I feel like it's something that is powerful, specifically now in these days when we have so much power. And I think that if we all realize it and let go of a lot of the stuff that has happened in the past and embrace our superpower, I think that's very powerful, specifically now.
I definitely agree, and I couldn't have said it any better. We have opportunities to get to different heights in our lifetime. Being of a specific nation or country or region brings its own flavor, and we have to use that to the best of our ability without detracting from ourselves, right? The
Right.
purpose that we have been given life for. Now, in impacting our communities, oftentimes I see that some Hispanics get to a height and then they forget. where they forget where they came from. They forget that there's actually people following them, and they just don't look back. But in what ways do you think Hispanic leaders can impact representation and advocacy for the Hispanic community?
It's a powerful question because at least now with my podcast, or it's the short cast, I've encountered a lot. It's one of the most common, um, just a common theme I kept hearing was, uh, I want to help others. We need to be united. I want to give that helping hand and that lending hand. And so I feel like that's something that's been more and more prominent now. But there's been a time, and there was a time when you're right, people would get to a certain level and then they would just be focused on themselves. I don't know that they didn't want to help. I just think that they had their own opportunities to grow in and their own situations in corporate or in their in their building their own empires against as pioneers against different odds, right? And so now that there's so much success out there, although we're still not the numbers we want to see, we're still not where we should be. Our boards are not compressed of more Latinos, but I feel like we're getting to that point where a lot of leaders are rising to stand for this opportunity of bringing others and mentoring others and providing that helping hand. So I think honestly that I've been encountering that theme all across the nation where we want to help others. We want to give that opportunity to others. And I feel like in my case, I'm still growing. I'm never going to stop growing. The day I stop is the day I'm no longer on earth. But I always try to examine myself and think, how much in me is there that I can give? And how can I help others? How can I mentor others? How can I support others? And how can I be that leader that others need? And so also practice what you preach, right? And what you say and what you do it can be different. And I honestly am very positive about our nation right now and in terms of our Latino and Hispanic leaders, because the theme I've been hearing is very much that. Don't forget those that want to get to where we are. Let's mentor, let's pull them up. And I think that's what I've been hearing. I don't know what you've been hearing or how you feel about that, but that's been my at least my experience, right?
Well, it definitely has increased from yesteryears, right?
Yeah.
The things have improved and they have increased, and as you said, there's still a ways to go in some areas, and that's okay. But as long as we continue to grow. Now, you was mentioning mentorship, and I remember that the whole thing around your shortcast, you want to say that, it was around a conversation you had with your daughter and about mentoring and finding people that can kind of fill in the gaps for a young college student trying to make her way through. And I love that whole premise of the origin of that. But what role has mentorship played in your career, and how do you give back to the Hispanic community through mentoring or other means?
I am continuing to be a board member at the chapter level. I'm the president of Hispanica, and that allows me an opportunity to mentor and to be able to grow our group and provide opportunities for growth in the professional development side and even in the community impact. Ways to be able to just bring ERGs, BRGs, just different employee resource groups together to mentor them and provide them opportunities just to scale, even in corporate America. Or we align with the Denver Startup Week, where we support new entrepreneurs, specifically after COVID, when a lot of the corporate type individuals decided to open small businesses. And so we support and that's how I give back to my community on the professional side. Community side, I am involved in my community in all different ways in the faith area and specifically, but I'm also involved in the community with different programs. And I think it's very important to be involved, be present, and to be able to be not, I know we can't be everywhere at once. We're not omnipotent, but I mean, being part of different things that align with your purpose, with that align with who you are, so that you can find opportunities to help others and provide a helping hand. I think that if you can join a group, join a network, I think it's very, very important and beneficial so that you can mentor others. If you need to be mentored, I think that's a biggest piece for me right now, as you mentioned, working on my Voces Poderosas because of my daughter. And I think it's very important to understand that there's a huge Latino population of young kids coming up. And yeah, they can search on LinkedIn or search Google search. AI is all over the place. But I think understanding and trusting leaders that they know in the community and having an opportunity to hear from them so that they can find other leaders that they can look up to and possibly even just connect with. I think it's very important. I think that a lot of the leaders should be accessible and have an opportunity to talk to others and just bring their expertise to the younger generation. It's a generation that's it's very different, and I think that even through social media or however we can, I think we need to reach out, and we have to make it an emphasis that we're present, and we're here, so that the younger generation not only looks up to us but also finds a way to be mentored, and a way to be able to not have to reinvent the wheel but learn from our experiences.
Absolutely. Now, I have a thought in my head of the coming months of how I'm going to implement some of those things, and it's through the community colleges. Right? There's a huge Hispanic complement at our local community colleges, and if you are the mentoring type, that's a good venue to go and help them start to see their way through their next chapter in life, right? Into corporate America or into the workforce, however it may be, and add some value at that level so that we can see the good influx of great leaders coming into the workforce. And I think that's an area that a lot of us can consider if you have a community college around you. Now, talking about the future and things of that nature, what do you see as the biggest opportunities and challenges for Hispanic leaders in the coming years?
The biggest opportunity, I think, is the fact that we are Latino. So, we are Hispanic. I said that earlier, our superpower, right? An opportunity to be able to embrace who we are, make sure that we incorporate our culture and who we are in everything, don't lose our identity. Always bring who we are, our Latinidad, and who we are into everything we do, because that's part of our nature. That's part of our identity and who we are. Challenges coming up, I think. I guess I don't know how I would align that in terms of my work and what I do. I think a biggest challenge is the new, not only the new generation, but uh, the incoming Latinos, and that the migrants that have arrived, and also the opportunity to be there to support and help, and equip. And I think that's a big challenge. Another challenge, I think, in the um, business side and the professional side, I think a big challenge is going to be having to bridge that gap, right, with the generation. So I think if we start thinking about the generation that's coming up, that's such a big one, it's such a huge number. I can't remember exactly the stats, but if we can bridge that gap and start thinking for ahead, like you said, the colleges, and have some programming around that, I think it's going to be very beneficial and a great opportunity for us to be able to take this challenge on, and see what how they think, what they want, and because it's really funny. I saw something the other day where they ask a lot of Latino kids what they want to be when they grow up, and they all want to be YouTubers, which is fine, but do they know of other opportunities? Is there, I mean, the challenge would be, how can we get different opportunities through YouTube or through social media, so that they know that, yeah, you can do that, but there are these other opportunities for you to make money meanwhile, or before or after, or you have a calling as well, and a purpose in life. And I think identifying that purpose and aligning with it is something that's very difficult. And specifically, like I said, the people coming into the country with different opportunities as well. Yeah,
And I think that that's where that mentorship piece will come in to help and alleviate some of the pain that they may feel in
yeah,
the future, and some of the pain we may feel because we didn't, right? And so we have to look for those opportunities as we have the opportunities. Jackie, thank you so much for all that you have shared so far. And I wanted to ask you, what do you have coming up? What's on the burner? And how can the listener or viewer get a hold of you?
that's awesome. By the way, I love what you're doing. Your questions are amazing, and I truly love what you're doing. And I tried to be more storytelling as opposed to stats and numbers. I'm sure you have a lot of people that are great at the stats and the numbers, and there's the concept of us being super amazing. Right now, what I'm working on with Voces Poderosas is reigniting the shortcast. Behind the scenes, I'll tell you, I've been working on my brand, these past months, I've been working on the book for Voces Poderosas, hopefully done soon. And the premise behind, or the real reason why, is because I want those books at every career center in every college in the United States. And I want students to be able to have access to it in college, and see who our powerful voices of the nation are, and have an opportunity to be inspired, and to be where they need to be, right? And so they don't have to only search, but also read a story, or understand the way that things happened to different people. And so I'm working on the book, I'm working on my brand, and I'll be launching that soon. I will be in El Salvador here in a week or two for hopefully the presidential inauguration there, and also for other events and opportunities. I will also be launching my 8 Steps to Soar as an eagle, my first catapulting professionals brand as Jackie Bouvier. And so I'm transitioning aside of my work. I'm not leaving everything I do, but I'm transitioning into that international speaker opportunity, and also getting that book complete, and reigniting Voces Poderosas, as I have a list of people that I need to interview, and more than I would love to interview. And so all that was a strategy time for me. It was a time for me to put everything together and make sure that it's all professionally done, and that I can have the opportunity to catapult professionals the right way.
Outstanding. Well, I can't wait to get a hold of that book. I've been waiting 7 months. And you
Forever.
know, but it's interesting as I reflect back on our time to share on on your program. I remember saying, bring your chair, right? Bring your chair. And a lot of people are waiting for opportunities, but that's all they are doing. They're not bringing their chair to the opportunity. A lot of people want a seat, and sometimes there are no seats unless you bring it, right? And so if you have not had an opportunity to go and view that segment or any of the Voces Poderosa segments, please do so. And we'll make sure to provide a link in the show notes for you to click on there and go visit all those fabulous Latino leaders that took the time to share in that segment. But thank you so much, Jackie, for being with me today and covering what it is to be a Latino leader and the ways to influence your communities. Folks, I want to remind everybody that today's episode is sponsored by Fantail Services and Superpass, which are powering our website and app. Southern Sweet and Sassy Coffee, The Outlier Project, and Duco. And if you've enjoyed this episode and learned something interesting about the topic covered today, make sure to subscribe and let us know by leaving a comment. And we're always looking for new ideas and guests that we can add to our show. So if you know someone or have a topic that you would like featured on the podcast or want to sponsor our show, please let us know by emailing us at triadleadershipsolutions@gmail.com. And this podcast is brought to you by StreamYard, a browser based tool that lets you live stream to any platform and record podcasts in studio quality, and we're using it to record this podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode where we dissect leadership from another angle. And as we like to end the show, success to you.